What they do, y'all. How y'all doing out there, Aces and Jules Tribe? Welcome back to another one. We back with a spicy one today.
Yes, sir.
Y'all hear me? So as y'all can see, I brought on the Ace, another Ace that's a part of the tribe. I want him to introduce himself.
Already, man. Large, small circles, you feel me? Gemini shit. You know, we got to have a conversation, man.
Yeah, we do. So, yeah, today we are talking about, what we talking about, bro?
Deadbeat ass baby mamas, goddamn. We got to have this conversation, man.
Yeah, we got to have that conversation. We're talking about deadbeat baby mamas.
And I'm not bitter.
Oh, nah, not at all,
it's
bro.
Just a conversation.
Yeah. So, yeah. What they do. This your boy DP.
This your girl T.
And we're the Geminis Gemz, representing for the Geminis across the world, giving our own Miami perspective.
For sure. So
you can follow us on all podcast platforms at Geminis-Gems.
Also follow us on Instagram, Geminis_Gems, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Geminis Gems.
Hey, make sure you like, follow, you comment, and you subscribe. Yes. And make sure when you type it in, it's Geminis with the S, Gems with a Z. And what we do, T?
Drop them gems.
Drop them gems. All right, so we back. So we talking about deadbeat baby mamas, bro. So what do you want to start with it, bro? What avenue you want to go down first? Cause like when I was looking it up, and I was looking up like how everyone comes at us and say, "Oh, yeah, we got deadbeat baby daddies," and it's always publicized out there that there's deadbeat baby daddies. You know what I'm saying? There's deadbeat dads. You feel me? So they never speak on like the moms.
It's like an unspoken thing. You can't do that for some odd reason, but for the most part, as much as the blame, and it's just a double standard because you can't really talk down on women.
Right. So I understand from different conversations from different individuals how some of these deadbeat moms are. You get what I'm saying? Like the things that a guy has to endure. And even sometimes I feel like women, they maintain a child and not raise their child. Yeah. But then we never focus on that in, the raising of a child, right?
Yeah.
So then when it comes back to like how, they talk about how dad's not present and different things like that, basically it's like we are present, but you all try to keep us away. You want us to neglect our kids. You feel me? You don't want us to be in our kids' lives. Go ahead.
It's one way with the cameras on, and it's another when the cameras off.
Facts.
A lot of these fathers that look like they're neglecting their kids, it only looks like that when the camera's on.
Right.
When you cut the cameras off, that's when you see the text messages of the father saying, "Hey, I want to see the kids."
Right.
And then you start to notice that the mom is the one that's neglecting that situation as a whole.
Right.
So it's when the camera's on, they have to look a certain way for society.
Right.
When the cameras is off, they get to be themselves.
I like that, bro. He already dropping them. He coming in dropping them.
When the cameras are on, they have to look a certain way to society. Because when a lot of these women go back and have these conversations with other women, they never speak on their part.
Right, and what they're doing. Right, so go ahead. I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead.
So from what I've seen, just from the most part, it's just women use children as pawns.
Listen, I got that on my list. Go ahead, bro.
They're pretty much just power plays because there's things that you can't. I mean, and honestly, if you're just looking at it from a beneficial standpoint, they do benefit from it.
They do.
If I use if I can take my child and stop him from seeing their father, that allows me to get government assistance.
Right.
That allows me to get some extra money from him.
Right.
And then the more that I keep him from him, the bigger the check gets.
Right. And why not play that part when I know I can benefit from the situation? And now what I had put down the 18-year career, that's what we call it.
18 years. Okay.
You feel me? So basically 18 years, you get a check basically for the free. And then sometimes you don't even use the check that check for the child to benefit. Usually you're getting your hair, nails, you know what I'm saying, going out, taking trips and all of this stuff off of the back of the man and not even supporting the child. I remember a couple of situations where the I'm going to say it this way, the child went without diapers, food, because the mom wants to go on South Beach and have a lit time on Memorial Weekend. You get what I'm saying?
That happens on the norm, but it just blows my mind that no one sheds a light on it.
Not at all, and they don't want to talk about it. You get what I'm saying? Where they even was scooping out the poop within the diaper, bro. So I was like, yo, I'm going to just go and buy the baby some diapers. If you got to do that, where's the mom? You feel me? Oh, she out there tricking or whatever she was doing, but leave the responsibility of someone else. You get what I'm saying?
Yes,
on that person, instead of you taking the responsibility out, for yourself, being held accountable, for your actions.
What I think women are aware that the system is rigged.
Right.
Now, being aware of what goes on, women know. Yeah. They all talk to each other. The men are the ones that we get the vague conversations of it because men don't really open up to each other about everything.
Right.
But these women know how these systems work. They know that you ask any woman, they'll tell you, yeah, the courts on our side.
Yeah.
They know that.
Yeah, they do.
So what happens, a woman can turn a father into a deadbeat for the cameras.
That's great.
When the camera's on, she can turn him into that because he's fighting a battle he knows he cannot win.
Yep.
Regardless.
Right. No matter what he does. All the proof and the saving the receipts and showing that he shows up to the first day of school. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, go ahead.
We live in a world where a woman can have a child. She can say the father is the father. Find out that the father is not the biological father. And if the father was in the child's life, the father still has to pay.
Yep. That's wild.
Wild. And they know that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't see really men trapping women.
Right.
From what I've seen, it's always the other way around.
Right.
And I think they use that as a power just to take advantage of men as a whole. Now, I'm only speaking for the good men and the bad mothers.
Right.
But with the deadbeat baby moms, I am telling you, just from what I've seen, from what I've heard, if you guys knew what these judges say, man, my dog told me that the judge let him know, if you say anything in here, I will hold you in contempt. And then they just gave him a number. That was it. It was clear as day. She came in, she said what she had to say and told him, if you say anything, I will hold you in contempt. So he pretty much just had to sit there and get a number. Whole time he's fighting for 50-50.
That's it. That's crazy.
To have to fight for 50-50 is crazy if we're doing what's in the child's best interest.
Right.
But it's all a ploy for money and all that other stuff. So, yeah.
So I did a little research about the child support, and I noticed that they get like basically $5.14 based upon, I would say $100 out of $100, and then it be up into the billions that they receive in child support a year.
You know, a woman can walk in and say he hasn't done anything for his child, and if you did not have receipts. So I can be in a relationship with a woman. We can be in a relationship for 5 years. And let's just say I piss this woman off. If this woman goes into court, I don't even have to piss her off. Let's just say she goes into court and says he was not there for the past 2 years. If I don't have any paperwork to prove that I've been in this child's life, I could be staying with them. But if I don't have any paperwork proving what I've purchased for this child, I'm at a lose-lose. And now the retro pay kicks in.
Right.
So
you
now,
have to pay. Yeah.
Now we start off in the hole, and then we have to deal with whatever's thrown at us because, again, it turns into society, and society believes that black men are deadbeat fathers.
Right.
And the judges look at us like that, too.
It's crazy.
So now I'm fighting a judge that has already made his observation of me before even seeing me. A woman that has her entire clan behind her.
Right.
Vouching for anything that she says.
Yeah.
And I'm in a position where the lawyers cost $5 $5,000 just for a retainer just to protect myself. It's a lose-lose. So now when you look at all of that, not anybody, but the average person, that's a fight that you know you can't win.
Yeah.
So you just sort of wash your hands with it, pay what you can pay, and go on about life. And it turns, a deadbeat mother will turn a great father into a deadbeat father. That's on crazy. Paper.
Right.
Just on paper.
Right.
Not in reality, just paper.
Right. Go ahead. Keep going.
So shit,
I'm gonna let you have it.
Hey, man.
You got something to say. I'm gonna let you have the flow.
Because I've seen it. It turns. It's just bitter.
Yeah.
That's all it is. It's a bitter woman. If women were really worried about their children, a lot of the things that are happening with our youth would not be happening.
Right.
Because honestly, the man doesn't have control unless the woman nor the courts allow it. I can have a child with a woman. That child can have my name. That child can have my blood. That child can have my damn house.
Right.
If she says no, it's no.
Right.
And I have to fight with the woman
and the state.
They provide these. They provide these people with lawyers.
Facts.
You will walk. I personal experience. I thought I was talking to somebody that was prepping me for court. The whole time I'm talking to their lawyer. They left that part out. They did not say that they were attorney or anything. They were just. I just found out like when we got in court, this is their lawyer.
Right.
Turned into a situation where, and this is just a personal experience. We were trying to figure out the pretty much my bank history. I had an account that had been closed, and I called the bank in front of the lawyer. The bank let them know, hey, no, this account had been closed already because they needed verification that the account was closed.
Right.
Called the bank. The lady watched me call the bank, saw it was Chase. The lady said, this account has been closed, but they cannot send an email. We'll have to pick up the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. She walked into court and said, we have no proof that the account has been closed. The lawyer literally heard them on the phone say the account is closed. But those are the things that we're fighting against. And you can't beat a system that's set up to beat you.
Right.
You cannot.
You dropping them, bro.
You cannot. That is a lose-lose every time. And women are aware of this. You run across good women that do what's best for the child, and those are the women that I commend and
you applaud, yeah.
So it's just like it turns into a situation where you allow the state and politics, everything to kick in, and not realizing these people don't have the best interest for you in the first place.
Right.
You're just leaning against them because they're on your side this time.
Right. Because you're paying the fee. That's why.
That's
money you have to take into account. So that's the only that's the thing. It was like your benefit, the way they're benefiting is off the back of us.
Yeah.
Knowing that you're gonna put your heart, sweat, and tears into like a good dad is gonna do all he can do, even though it relinquish what he has. Right. So he gonna do everything he can possibly do with this power. Work extra hours, getting connections in order to make it work, while she sits back in the AC just collecting the check.
Just collecting.
That's crazy to me.
Hey, when you go to court and you go to talk to these people, man, the lawyers tell you, hey, control your emotions. This is the most emotional situation a man can be in. This is their seed.
Right.
And you're literally sitting next to someone that's lying.
Right.
About you taking care of your seed. You cannot show any sort of emotion. If it looks anything like anger, frustration, anything leaning towards that, they are looking at you like the monster they've already believed you were just because you're a minority. I'm just speaking for black men for the most part.
Right.
But they're already looking at you in the wrong. So you have to, and the average person, can't. I mean, it's emotions. You can't. I don't know too many people that can control them all the way.
Right. Especially because a man is more physical, so he only know how to do it with brute force.
So it turns into a whole mind game. The lawyers on both sides are aware of it, so they milk it. So a guy is pretty much going out of pocket to pay thousands of dollars for this lawyer just to have something reasonable, not realizing if the woman really just took a step back and looked at it, this guy is willing to put thousands of dollars into a lawyer. Y'all could have just came and landed on the same playing field, and we could have just cut this.
Right. Down the middle.
And the child, for the child.
Right. And that's who is supposed to benefit.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. Keep going,
Yes,
bro.
sir. So when you look at it, it turns into, it's just a bitter moment that a woman is having. Most of them come to terms with it after the child is grown, but they're not realizing the long-term effects that it's having on the child as a whole.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So when you talk to people that were men, women, girls as well, that just grew up without a father, they had a void in their life.
Right. It's detrimental to the child.
You know, and I think a lot of these deadbeat mothers do not have any foresight realizing what they're doing to a child, because once they become older and they start jumping into these conversations, answers have to come out.
Right. And that's one thing I always preach to minds. You get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you may have the upper hand now, but when he gets older and he start asking different questions, how are you going to answer that? And it has to be within reason, because he's going to think. You know, a child always going to think for himself, and then he's going to ask his friends and see what comes out. Like, well, why did your mom do this? Or why didn't this happen? And when the who, what, when, where, and how comes out, then how you're going to answer that and not lie.
Yeah, they can't pull it off. Kids are only kids for so long.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And us as parents, only have a grip on them for so long. Because, I mean, if you can remember being a child, you stop really having a real need for your parents' attention at around 13, 14.
Yeah.
You know, so pretty much after that, they're gone. All you can do is just guide them through words. But outside of that, pretty much got a 14-year run with molding your child.
Facts.
And a lot of these women put hate in a child for a parent, and then when they do start reaching out and getting the answers, it turns into another hate.
Right.
So now
resentment at that point.
As a whole. So now you just have a confused child at 15 and wondering why everybody's rebelling.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you because you lied. I don't want to talk to this person because I don't know if they're lying. So now I'm just going to talk to this person
who I can trust. Then they usually go to the grandma, because the grandma is the one that usually keeps it real. Or if not, they go to the outsource, you know, someone on the outskirts. And then you have to be careful, because they may deter the way that they're thinking, because you may want them to get on a certain path, but they won't. You get what I'm saying? So then they'll end up going in a different direction, and then you wonder why you lost them, because they eventually found out you were lying.
Yeah.
You know, you wasn't being real and authentic.
I was going back and forth with my oldest son's mother, and I just explained to her, because I mean, it gets stressful, because you know you're doing what you have to do on your part. But I just explained to her, he's going to grow up. Right. And that's when you're going to have to answer these questions. I don't bet in my opinion, it's just mine.
Yep.
I think a good man, good father, I think I speak for a lot of us. We do not drag you guys' name through the mud.
Sure, no, don't.
So my son didn't know what type of parent he had on the other end. It was just a lot of, you're too young for this. You know what I mean? I'm not even pulling you into this because you won't be able to process what type of text messages I just got about trying to pick you up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just leave that alone. But eventually, you know, society is making children grow up a lot faster. So the question is going to pop out. Now it's going to land on me, and I'm going to have to try to figure out a way
to navigate through that. Yeah.
How to tell him who you are without calling you a bitch in the same sentence.
Facts.
And it gets done.
Right. So I had a coworker of mine. He used to say when he was as he was growing up, he used to ask questions about him and his mom. And then the dad used to say, "Hey, listen, you too young. You know, hey, listen, you'll understand when you get older." You get what I'm saying? And then one day out of the blue, after the age of 15, he ended up having a epiphany. You get what I'm saying? Like, I see why dad left you. I see why you haven't had a relationship. Now it's all coming together. Now he grew animosity towards his mom to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because they still end up loving their mom at the end of the day, which we try not to preach anything different. But then he end up growing resentment, and then he just like everything she would say, are you lying to me? Now, how do you get through that? How do you navigate through that as a mom? Because now he believes like you're lying because you did it with dad, you know?
It's just a lack of foresight. If women were able to repeat that conversation that they would have to have with their 16-year-old son, they wouldn't do the things they did when he was 6.
Exactly.
I think bitter moms in the moment, and I understand why you're mad. I just don't understand why you take that course.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can be mad, whatever. We can look like we're having the greatest relationship in the world, and you can find out I had 4 other wives on the background.
Right.
That has nothing to do with our child.
Right.
And that's what women do. They know that the average man cares about their child and doesn't care about them.
Right.
When a woman finds out you don't care about them, they reach out for the things they know you care about. It's typically the child.
Exactly. To the point they even move out of state.
It's typically the child. So once now they have you by the balls, and now we have to play by a set of rules in a game that's rigged. We can't lose our cool. We can't sit on the phone. We can't yell, because if we yell about you doing something wrong, you've already got the phone recorded.
Right.
Sounds crazy now. Sounds crazy.
Sound like I'm lashing out.
You know what I mean?
So you know what I started doing?
Yeah.
To even and start instructing other people to do, stop talking, text.
Yeah.
And it's a one mechanism that can help you on the end. And also too, you have to control your emotions.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Go ahead, speak on it, bro. Like, go ahead.
With the emotions part, you know, a lot of people don't really have children planned. Some do, some don't. But I
want to talk about that next. But go ahead.
I think the masses, it was just like, oh my God, we're having a baby. You know what I mean? So
right.
So, you know, we're young at the time and this and that, but it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse not to grow up. So I've seen situations where, and I've had female friends, and these are my friends that I've pulled to the side and told them about themselves. That man hurt your feelings. He did not do nothing to that baby.
Exactly.
He cheated on me. He did not cheat on that baby. He cheated on the family. Girl, he had sex with another woman.
That's it.
He did not cheat on his family. He cheated on the relationship he had with you. It's okay with the separation part, but when you start using this child as a pawn and just to get on someone's nerves, it turns into something else. And it's just like a lot of situations that have gone way past where they should have been. I'm not saying it's I'm not excusing anything, but it's just like you're playing with fire now. You know what I mean? So it's just like I don't recommend someone doing something to my mother. I love my mother.
Right.
You know, I'll do anything for my mother.
Right.
And you have some people that are stable but just don't know how to handle that type of situation with you taking something that they made.
Right.
Together. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, and women laugh about this.
They do.
I've seen them laughing, and I'm just like,
oh, watch how I play with them. Watch how I get them. I bet I get the money. You get what I'm saying?
It turns into so much, and then it's just like society says the woman is, you should feel sorry for the woman. I don't see any empathy towards the men.
At all.
There is not, I don't see, you know, I've seen videos, I've seen podcasts of just women breaking down because of a deadbeat father. I don't really see too many about deadbeat mothers.
Right.
And the backlash that we have to take. They're men that work night and day just to give everything.
Yeah, and then get access to the child.
Yeah, there's no reason why a man should have to fight for 50-50 custody.
That's crazy.
The fact that it turns into a fight, it's just like, damn.
Right.
It's just sad for me for the most part, but it's just like women take advantage of a system that they know is rigged in their favor. Even
to the point I heard someone, well, actually I was told that this is a part of life. And I said to myself, how? If the child was important, and which is that's the main thing. If he's important, then why would there have to be this this tearing apart? You know, because of emotional distress or just you feeling some type of way. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, you can move on with your life, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But why tearing apart a relationship or a bond between the father and the son, or the father and the daughter? You get what I'm saying? Has to take place. What type of, and this would make me think that women are such evil creatures. You get what I'm saying? Because they'll play the two against, but as well, when they play the two against, they don't understand, again, how you mentioned before, how the women are not, they're not thinking about the future of the child and the way that they will feel. So, yeah.
If a man says, I want custody of my child, he has to go pay for a lawyer. If a woman says, I don't want him to have custody of my child, they will give her a lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just speaks volumes, and the amount of damage done to the child just mentally as a whole, because now we have to take mental awareness into account just based on the amount of information that children have access to. You know what I mean? It's not just when we were growing up, it wasn't, you didn't hear anything. You just heard what was happening in the city and CNN.
Yeah.
And CNN really didn't make it to the kids unless it was like a mass shooting of some sort. But now any child can click on the phone and find out that children are committing suicide on the regular. Right. It's not on the regular, really, but it looks like it's on the regular.
Right.
For them.
It's more often than none.
Yeah. So now these things start to become accepted, and children start believing that this is a way out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like you have to raise your kids different because everything is different now. You know what I mean? And you have to take different things into account because everything is different. We believed in a God, we believed in a heaven, we believed in a hell, and we believe with what came with our actions. That's not alive today.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not as prevalent as before. Yeah.
Yeah. So those guidelines, those lines right there prevented our minds from even venturing off into those dark places. Right. Today, it's not.
Right. It's like how you said, it's a way out of the situation.
So now, you'll have kids contemplating suicide. I didn't hear about that too often.
Just running away as well.
Running away, and it's okay because they know somebody that's done it. You know what I mean? Someone did this at the school last year. So, hey, why not? And I think women aren't aware of that.
And even speaking on that, they would also believe that making that approach of like leaving not just the best option, but no one cares about me. You know, so since my mom and dad, my dad been trying to fight, but they don't know the dad was trying to fight. They don't know that part. Right? But see, they say, well, the dad don't care about me. And the mom is not doing but the bare minimum. You get what I'm saying? So why should I even be here? So running away is like, yes, it's the option, but no one cares. Yeah. With the option. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's the thing. I'm only speaking on deadbeat mothers. I'm not speaking on mothers that do their job.
Of course.
You know what I mean? The deadbeat mothers, the ones that are out every night, the ones that don't have time to do the kids' homeworks, the ones that can't pop up
at the school.
Those parents, the ones that are just like, if you fail, they're just gonna leave you behind, and that's it.
So I have a question for you, bro.
Yes, sir.
Well, Planned Parenthood. Okay, so I'm gonna throw an example so you get what I'm talking about.
All right.
So I meet a chick. I end up smashing. She found out she pregnant. Okay. She finds out she pregnant, and I say, hey, listen, I don't want to keep it. She says, I do. Now I'm finna switch it over. Smash a chick. She finds out she pregnant. She says she doesn't want to keep it. And I say, I want to keep it. So how do you feel about that?
I feel like at the end of the day, it's the woman's choice.
Right.
Only because they have to, it's their job to make sure that the child even gets here.
Okay.
We could put the child there, but it's their job to make sure that the child gets there. And I just, the way I look at it is the man is usually the pursuer, the woman is the one that gets caught.
Right.
So us as men, we know when a woman's pregnant before they do.
Probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
9 times out of 10.
Oh, yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
We
no
know.
doubt.
So we know what we did. You know what I mean? And we know what we have to do in order for that not to happen. And I think certain situations would be different if a child, like, I've dealt with women.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to say it's a lot, but I've dealt with women. You
Right,
know what I'm saying? So, so I'm just saying, if I walked up to every woman that I saw and said, hey, I want you to have my baby, the conversation would be different. And a lot of the times those conversations aren't had on the man's part with the woman. If the man had that conversation with the woman will make whatever decision she's going to make
based upon that conversation.
Gotcha. I think she makes that decision after she finds out after she finds out she has a child inside of her. But I don't think men approach those sexual encounters like, hey, I want you to have my baby. Or, hey, I don't want you to have my baby. If those conversations get had prior, I think they would be different. But ultimately, I just think just because of what comes with delivering a child, just the sickness, I have to take off of work, I have to gain weight, I have to change my diet. If I smoke, I can't do that. If I drink, I can't do that. Everything has to change in her life in order for this child to have life. I just think that it's her decision.
Okay. So, for me, I beg to differ. And the reason why is basically because I feel like it's 50-50. He should have as much as a say to keep or terminate as much as she does. She doesn't have the total right. Yes, and I do agree with what you're saying, far as her having to take care of the child and having to, go through all of the whole, pregnancy process of the, waking up in the morning, having to throw up and different things like that. She has to take in consideration her health is very important. My granddad used to tell me that she could have lost her life. Yeah. So her health is very important. But at the same time, even though the man has no, let's say, physical harm that may come from that,
obligations,
right? You get what I'm saying? He still should have a right, to say, because of the intimacy.
I do think they do take our words into consideration. Okay. I do think they take it. You know what I mean? It's just where we're at in the now. Okay. And the way, because people base their lives off of other people's actions. You know what I mean? Yep. So now they're looking, I think, just my opinion, I think women are looking at it like, what if he doesn't do what Joe did? What if he does what Sean did? What if he's not here? What if he moves? What if he gets it? And they play that game in their head, and they make a decision based off of everything that they saw. So
with you saying that, you just made me think of this guy end up running across, and he met the girl, and she was a little deadbeat. You get what I'm saying? Already, right? she was on that step ladder. You get what I'm saying? Climbing up that ladder, right? But she hadn't gotten there yet. But anyway, he go ahead and deal with her, end up getting her pregnant. So when you got her pregnant, she ended up having a baby and all of that thing, all of that. And then out of the blue, she was like, she told him, like, I was going to play you anyway.
They're out there.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I already knew you had a good job, you had benefits. So why not? Because I know, like, you're going to end up paying me this amount of money in child support. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I was going to benefit it anyway. So why not? Like, you and everything that I'm involved in myself with, like, get like the things I want out of life, you're going to provide for me, and I don't have to do nothing.
Us as men have to be aware. We are aware of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
If we,
yeah.
You know, 6 figures, mid 6 figures in, and we have a baby with someone that's pushing 30, we know what's going to happen. That baby's coming.
Right.
Regardless of what we say.
Right.
And we know that going into it. So that's why it's just like, I can't fault. And you know what I mean? It's just so much that plays a role in it. And I just really give the cards to the woman because, shoot, honestly, at the age I was at when I had my oldest, no, I didn't think I was ready for a child. Best thing I ever did.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I was just like, we're not ready. I don't know how I'm gonna. And best thing I've ever done.
Right.
She made that decision. I wasn't sitting there, screaming like, "Oh, get rid of the baby." I was just like, I don't know if we can pull this off. We're kids. You know what I mean? And now we're here. I think cards land how they're supposed to land, but it just turns into, it's just the unknown for the most part. That's what scares people.
And I agree, because even in my situation, it was one of those like, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's coming or going. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not going to push the envelope if she says no.
Yeah.
Or she says yes. You get what I'm saying? It's her option at the end of the day. But I but I really believe that it should be
50-50.
Exactly. If
we can't come to an agreement.
And that's exactly what I was going to say. Basically, if we sit down and we really map this thing out, we should sit down as mature individuals. Yes, and mistakes happen.
Yeah.
And when it does, we should be able to be mature enough to really, delegate the right decision. Okay, well, this is the reason why it should either go for it or against it. You get what I'm saying? Terminate or have.
Definitely.
So, let's continue, bro. Like, I have so many things written down, right? So, but I don't want to go too deep. So the challenges that a man encounters dealing with a deadbeat, right? So some of the things I did was, and you basically hit like every single.
Oh, you wrote them down already?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You hit everything. So I'm looking at my paper like, well, it doesn't matter. Like, you're already hitting every point. But just to briefly, just scan through some of it. We understand, yes, the complexity of the legal system. Dealing with the financial demand, emotional, family dynamic, and you explain that as well. The experience, education, confidence. So the duties of a guy with the confidence, resources, and let's say the health as a guy. You have to have force given to the child. This is the reason for the child to be in the father to be in the child's life. To give the confidence, have resources, be a mentor, and these things like that. Yeah. So a deadbeat mom doesn't see the need, right?
Yeah.
So she would try to press again because also connection. This is the point I wanted to talk about. Because of their immaturity, as well as their not know-how, how to be a good mom, they neglect the fact of the role of the dad.
Yeah, we play a big role. We play a huge role, and it's there's things that we can't even tell women at all. They wouldn't even understand. They won't be able to get through the conversation. A man can explain to their daughter how these men are going to approach her. A woman can say, "Oh yeah, guys are gonna say and this and that." I'm happy I don't have any daughters because I'm terrified that my daughter bumps into somebody like who I was.
So you say that. Let me tell you what I heard, and it's gonna hurt many guys that have daughters.
Yeah,
you're raising another pussy for another man.
Man. Man, who the fuck said that? Look, for me, it's like, because I thought I was going to have a daughter. You just put it into just the equation. Hey, this might be a girl. Got lucky, got all boys. I think I got lucky.
Yeah.
But it's terrifying if the girls that I dated in high school,
Okay.
if their parents knew my intentions, they could never know my intentions. I knew what to say as a younger, you know what I mean? I know how to, you know what I mean?
The part.
We just played the part. The woman, that girl isn't aware. This is high school. She's still not aware of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And me as a father, if I had a daughter, my daughter will be aware, like,
Of course.
hey, these are the red flags. This is what it sounds like when somebody's trying to make you drop everything. This is what it sounds like when someone's trying to get inside your body. This is what it sounds like when this is happening. You have to keep an eye out for this. Mothers, those deadbeat mothers, are victims to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they still can't even identify with it. With
Right.
the as far as the guys, a man needs to be in another man's life,
I agree.
child's life.
Right.
There's certain things that a woman cannot tell them. They just don't understand. There is no woman that can teach a boy how to be a man at all. They're either going to give just examples on what they think is men, and but they don't understand what comes with those conversations. And we can't teach you. It'll take forever because we'll have to tell you about everything, because we have to put our scars out in front of these boys just to let them know, like, hey, you can be a king, but you need to learn how to lay down here. You know what I mean? I've seen a woman turn her child into a damn machine to where he was just tough. You know what I'm saying? And he didn't know when to cut it off. You got to know when to cut it off.
Right.
You'll lose if you can't cut it off.
Facts.
You're not going to make it out of high school if you cannot cut it off.
Yep.
And I had to have a conversation with my son, because my son believes that I'm not afraid of anything. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I had to bring him down, because I noticed that this nigga ain't afraid of nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I had to bring it down to where I was just like, hey, look, it's okay to be afraid. You just need to know how to handle yourself in situations. That's all it is with being a man. You need to be able to identify what's going on and make the best decision in a split second. You need to know when to fight. You need to know when to run. You need to know when to shut up. You need to know when to speak. A woman cannot teach her boy that, because she doesn't understand it. She's never been in a situation where there's been 5 people that ran up on him in the middle of a parking lot.
Facts.
She can't even imagine that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's certain things that a guy has to drop knowledge on their child.
Right.
You know what I mean? A woman cannot tell, no matter how many videos you've seen, a woman can't tell their son how to act when these cops pull him over.
Facts.
You can say, oh yeah, you gotta keep your body language, and you gotta keep your hands on the steering wheel. You gotta keep yeah. You need to make sure your eyebrows are right too.
Facts.
Because if you get to squinting too much, you look aggressive.
Yep.
You need to know what looks aggressive feels like.
Right.
And we know because a woman has never walked into an elevator and seen a woman grab her purse. I mean, it's happened, here and there, but you just have to be aware of what's going on. My son was not aware. You know what I mean? And I had to pretty much walk him through piece by piece. Little things when we'll be out, I'd be like, hey, did you notice that?
Right.
And then now he's able to see, like, oh, okay. I'm like, look, you are looked at as a monster.
Exactly.
Okay?
Just like with the hoodies.
Yeah.
Hey, take that hoodie off, because they have this perception. Yeah.
So it's just certain things that we have knowledge that a woman does not have, and the only knowledge that she's had is just little bits and pieces, like podcasts just like this, where somebody has said something. I didn't say anything at all. I literally scraped the surface. It's deeper than that.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And we'll be here for years trying to explain, like, the amount of work that you have to put in.
Yeah.
So it's just like, I think fathers are definitely the other half. And when you drop a child in the world without a father, you put them out there 50% behind everybody else that had one.
And so let's speak right quick on because it's something you mentioned And let's speak right quick on the deadbeat moms with their daughters.
Okay.
Because we can come with we can come to the understanding what fathers, and see, this is the thing about it. Good fathers know what to say and what to do.
Yeah.
But what about the deadbeat moms, right, with their daughters? Because you mentioned that they themselves don't even know that they're raising their daughters with this distorted ideology. You get what I'm saying? As far as like basically being another deadbeat mom, a deadbeat individual, not raising this queen-like type of woman. You know, the princess that turns into the queen. Yeah. So I want you to speak on that real quick.
I think a lot of the deadbeat mothers, and their daughters, just generally, there's envy there. I think a lot of those mothers are jealous of their child's youth.
Listen, this is exactly why I wanted to bring it out. Go ahead, bro.
I think they're jealous of their child's youth.
Yeah.
Just leaving names. I've seen a situation where mom, back when she was younger, she pretty much this would be okay. So he had this girl. She was around like 17. She was beautiful. Yep. Shape, nice, everything. Mom used to look like that.
Right.
You know, now she's she's not the same anymore, pretty much. It was a envy in the room. Yes. She felt some type of way. She was jealous of her own seed. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of those deadbeat mothers are in competition with their child, and not realizing their child is really just trying to emulate you.
That's it.
And most children are usually trying to emulate their parents. So when you turn out to be this jealous, sharp-tongued, rude, condescending person, that's what you're raising. Your daughter is going to do that very well. Very well. You know what I mean? They notice everything. You feel me? Like,
right, they're improved version of them.
Yeah, you feel me? You want to be a better me? Right. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, so it's a lot of competition that happens in those situations with mothers, deadbeat mothers, and their daughters. You know what I mean? There are situations where the daughter will have a good boyfriend, the mother will hate on that.
Of course, try to run them away.
You know what I mean? Will really hate on that. The daughter will have a nice shape. The woman, the deadbeat mother, misses that shape. She had that same shape. She misses it, and she blames the daughter for not having it.
Yeah. Oh, you the reason why my body is this way.
She blames the daughter,
as well as you're talking about with the good boyfriend.
Yeah.
And envy the fact that they're going out. You know, they're always going out. Because I even had a situation like that. Go out, take the girl out. She's always calling, like clockwork. Oh, what y'all doing? This, that, and the third. And it could be envy, but still, that's what a deadbeat mom would do to her own daughter. Yeah. Well, try to hinder the daughter from getting, to the climax, or let's say to the next step, or getting married.
Yeah, we
right.
Yeah. We see it a lot. It's just never spoken on. We see it a lot, and it's just like it's sick for the most part. It's just like, this is your child. Your child is doing nothing but learning from you, looking for acceptance from you, and you can't get past yourself because of whatever you're going through.
Facts.
And I feel like a lot of the mothers, the deadbeat mothers, and daughter relationships are at odds because the mother isn't young anymore. I think she's just fighting with the fact that she doesn't have that youth anymore.
Right, because I've been a part of a girl, and you met her years ago. Yeah. And the mom was envious of her, where she ended up trying to sleep with me. You feel me? And even her other daughters was try to sleep with the boyfriends or the guy friends that would come around. And it was like, but why would you try to do something like that? Like, I'm not finna do that. But, why would you even try that? And it was because of envy. Oh, y'all shouldn't be going out. It's too late. What you mean? It's only 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying?
I was with this girl. I watched her put on some jeans, and them motherfuckers fit, boy. I say, God damn. I watched her mom roll her eyes. I didn't speak on it, but I watched her mother roll her eyes. And then I saw, it was a couple months later, I saw a picture of what her mom used to look like. I couldn't imagine her mom looking like that. She just had, time, I guess, And she looked exactly like her. So I know why she rolled her eyes. After I saw that picture. I'm like, oh. It wasn't anything. It wasn't no weird. It wasn't too revealing. It wasn't like she was half naked. She threw on some jeans. They just fit great. Stomach was flat.
Right.
Chest sitting up.
And you say that, but even in that situation, she said, I used to look like that. So what you're saying is so true. And this is the reason why I think we should always illuminate the fact that there's deadbeat moms out there, and it needs to be vocalized even more.
Yeah,
we need to not. Someone was telling me we need to not step back as being a humble baby, dad. You get what I'm saying? We need to be aggressive as a man. So this was like one of our resolutions, far as like us as men. We need to step up to the plate and stop taking it easy on them.
Yeah, the definition of a man has a lot of standards and restrictions.
Right.
There's certain things that we can't do that women can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? If a woman goes out and posts screenshots of what the guy is saying,
right,
and
text messages,
just text messages. Oh, he said he wasn't going to do that. Now, because we got him, we got him.
Of course.
If we start posting screenshots of what these girls are saying in these phones, oh my God. If we start posting these screenshots, there will be women there that say, that's a bitch move.
Yep.
You moving like a bitch.
Yep.
That's some whole ass shit.
Right.
Like, these are the terms that are going to come to the surface.
Right.
But it's at the same time, it's just, if we did, we'll just be doing the same thing that a woman is doing, and that's just bringing awareness to the situation.
That's it.
Like, this is who you're really dealing with.
Exactly.
Just
the monster. Yeah.
Just like, oh, y'all think y'all know him, but this is what he's saying to me. Okay, y'all think y'all know her. This is what she's saying to me. Hey, man, I've seen it online. Hey, man, take that down. That ain't for the rest of the world, man.
That's
y'all gotta. And I'm like, bro, this man is literally the only if a man puts that conversation
crying out for help,
that is nothing but a cry for help.
Yep.
That is all that is.
He need help. He want to be a part of his child's life.
That is all that is. But they won't look at it like that. And then what it turns into is, now this woman has this child that doesn't listen, and now he's pretty much lost. And now y'all want us to fix that shit. I can't get through this, man. I got lucky. I was just lucky.
Yeah.
If I was 2 years off, I would have had to fist fight with my damn son. If I was 2 years off, you know what I'm saying? But just as men, and I remember being 16, me and my dad fought. Balled our fist up, and we did it. You know what I'm saying? It was just certain things you couldn't say to me no more because I ain't no kid. You know, most kids, teenagers, we're grown at men. We're grown at around 14, 15.
Bro, I just said that one of our last episodes.
We're grown. We're having sex. We're making decisions for ourselves. Even if we're not having sex, we're possibly having sex. We're making the best decisions for ourselves. We're going to school by ourselves. We're trying to figure out what we're going to do for the rest of our life.
Automatic.
What the hell are you talking to me for? You know what I'm saying? Now, me trying to be a father, I'm like, hey, I'm trying to give you this game. That game was supposed to be given between those 9 and 12 year gaps when it was being soaked up. He not hearing that no more because they got John over here telling me what it really is. Right. John outside, John got a BMW.
Yeah.
John graduated 4 years ago. He doing good for himself. He not listening to me. So now me as a parent, I got a child that's not listening to me. But now I'm trying to save him because I know what the world is going to bring.
Yeah.
In order for me to save him, this may get physical. It's not going to register with him. What women do, they build up these men, they build up these women because they're still kids. But the way that they raised them, they were forced to become adults while they were still kids.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why they lash when they get older. Lash out.
So now it's just like
Or rebel as well.
we're dealing with rebellion, and the majority of the time when these men get these calls, we don't get the calls when the kid is 4.
Sure them not.
Because, mom could still pop them and tell them to go in their room. We don't get the calls when they 8. Mom could still pop them, tell them to go in their room. We don't get the calls when they 13 because mom could still got enough weight to get them, in line. We get the calls when they 15, 16 and they taking weight training and on the football team.
Yeah.
We can't pop them and tell them to go to the room. Mm-hmm. Now they just pretty much, all mom did was just call a stranger because that's what mom made the father, a stranger. You can't tell me anything. So mom made a call to a stranger, and then he's a little familiar with the stranger based off of everything that mom said.
Yeah.
So now he's got this person he barely knows and only heard negative things about, trying to tell him something positive. It's never going to register.
Never.
So now us as fathers, we try to level, but we're completely aware of what type of time slot we're in. Mm-hmm. This has to be fixed today. Mm-hmm. So
and I'm just you got
no, I'm good.
okay. So what I was thinking of was like when the child gets older, now the dad comes in just off your scenario and situation, right? Now the dad has to come in and make up for so much lost time.
We gotta put 5 years in
2 weeks.
One. It's impossible.
Right. So if you don't come with a package as a dad, when that child is older, now he's looking at you like you was never there.
And the only way we can fix that is if we tell a child exactly who you are. I had to explain to my son, and it sucked.
That's deep right there, bro.
It sucked. I left out a lot.
Right.
I left out about 85% of it.
Right.
But I just pretty much had to explain to my son that, hey, you remember when you were over here and you didn't see me? Yeah. Okay. This is what happened. He still didn't believe me. Read this. Okay. You remember when you were over here? This is what happened. You remember when you're supposed to come here? This is what happened. I'm slowly letting him know, like, this has nothing to do with me. I've been trying. But as far as he was concerned, I wasn't doing anything but what she was telling him. And what I think women need to understand, and just people as a whole, you can turn a child into whatever you want to turn them into. You can turn them into a scientist. You can turn them into a serial killer.
Yep.
You can do that by yourself.
Yep.
And they're soaking it up. And it was just like, I was aware of my child, all of them. So when DJ was young, and this just goes to why I paid attention to what I was doing. It was a certain way. It was something that I used to do on a stool. I used to sit and I used to swing like the specific way. I used to put my foot on one spot. And I caught him looking at me as I was swinging on the stool. Didn't really pay it no mind. He did the same exact thing on that stool. And then I'm listening to people. He walks like you. I don't even see him paying attention to that. He walks like me. You know what I mean? I used to do it the way I eat cereal. It's not normal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He eats cereal like me. So if he's paying attention to the way I move, I would be a fool not to think he's not paying attention to the way that I speak.
Yep.
The way that I react. You know what I'm saying? So I know he's watching, and this is before he can even talk.
Right.
So it's just like, if parents were aware when the child starts paying attention, I think they'll do a lot better. And they start as soon as their eyes open. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they're on it now. Your child moves like you, chooses food like you. Mm-hmm. He'll open the door with his left hand if you do it every day.
Right.
And you won't even notice.
Right. That's why it's important for the dad to be present.
Yeah.
So why fight against it? Your deadbeat mom. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Why push against it when you know it has nothing to do with you?
Yeah.
It's all about the child. And if the child was more important, or when the child, knowing that the child is the most important, why do opposite? You know,
it's the emotions that can't be handled. When a man has to learn how to deal with his emotions. If we can't control our emotions, we will be in prison.
Facts.
A woman, the rules don't apply. A
Right.
woman can't teach a man how to teach a young man how to control his emotions. She doesn't have hers under control. Mm-hmm. No matter how much she thinks she does, she doesn't, because that same guy can walk into the house and make you blow your shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we have to teach them that, and we're not even given the opportunity from the mother nor the law. It leads these kids down a road that they're going down now. And we all know how that's going. That's not well for anybody.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the fathers are necessary. The bitter mothers use the babies as tools to just piss somebody off. A guy will be happy. I was happy when my baby mama fell in love with somebody else. I was happy, ecstatic. I'm like, because now, and to be honest, I got to see my child after that.
Right.
She found somebody else that she fell in love with, and everything was good. Mm-hmm. I wasn't tripping. She wasn't tripping. I'm like, all right, this is good.
Right. I love this energy.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's just like, a guy shouldn't have to wait for a woman to get over their feelings for them in order to do what's best for the child that they both have.
Right.
That's, you know.
So I'm gonna let you do your final words to the deadbeat baby mamas, so the deadbeat moms, and we're gonna close it out from there. Cause this episode, I didn't have much to say, because he basically went down the whole list of what I had written down. So you already knew. I knew you was on point. I looked at my paper where I said, well, he was talking about that. Yep. So yeah.
Shit. To sum it up, you just gotta do better, man. These babies is alive. They're paying attention. And the same traumas that you've dealt with, you're putting your children through them as well. And they might not be the exact same ones, but bringing a child into the world without a father because of your feelings, you'll regret. And I've noticed from a lot of older folks that have done exactly what you're doing, those are the ones you don't talk to for some odd reason. Mm-hmm. They all regret it. And we see how it plays out. It just turns into, they won't like you when you get older. When they get older.
So when you say that, I'm going to say what I said before. Moms don't think about the end.
Yeah.
They only think about the now.
Yeah.
So in my line of work, we end up going to nursing homes to pick up the deceased, right? And you find out through the nurse that the son or daughter care less about the mom.
Yeah.
We already know they do that with the dad, but they barely came to see their mom because they found out
the truth. So honestly, if you are bumping into some issues that you can't get over that has nothing to do with the child, now if he's harming the child, by any means,
we know that.
But if your feelings and your hatred for him has nothing to do with that baby, you need to let it go. I don't care what kind of dick he was. I don't care. It doesn't matter, and your children don't care either.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, they're never going to be that age again, and they're going to blame you in the long run.
Yep.
So, hey, kids need their damn dads. Kids need their moms too. Yep. Once you have a baby, it's not about you no more. So if you have one at 20, you kick your 20s away. That's your bad. But at the end of the day, it's not really a problem. You just need to focus on what's more important.
That's it. There y'all have it. I'm your boy DP. This is my brother Losh, Ace on deck, and we Gemini Gemz.
Yes, sir.
That's Geminis with the S, Gems with the Z. Yes. And what we do, we drop them gems. You got to drop the gems inside, bro. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Already.
Yo.